Because I looked at the problem and I'm like, this is so immense and huge, and what do I do? Like, who am I to do anything at all? And I just kind of wound up going like, well, I'm good at this thing, so I'm gonna do it in this way. And I started time-lapsing these fires at night, and nobody was insane enough to go park themselves in front of a fire and time-lapse it. People took an interest in it because nobody had shown them fire in that way before. So at the very least, people get to see things in a new light, and they get to see the evolution of time. And that, I think, is valuable. Being able to see things in a way that we can't see naturally.
It's just after 9:30, and the I-5 corridor in Shasta County was closed down 3 days ago.
If that sign just caught on fire, we cannot stay right here!
And the Delta fire has already jumped the interstate in a number of locations.
I can't count how many different, veteran firefighters have told me at one point or another, I've never seen fire behavior like this.
As sort of a last-ditch effort to protect the road, fire crews are intentionally setting fires to an overgrown area near the little town of Sims. It's a common practice known as backburning, and Jeff Frost has seen it before.
When I'm shooting at night, really what I'm looking for is a certain mood or emotion, which is to fit a certain piece of narrative.
Jeff is an artist, and for the past 5 years, he's been time-lapsing California's biggest fires.
A lot of times in the fires, there's no hotel rooms left, or it's like miles outside of the fire zone. So I'll find a place that's a little less smoky if I can, and I'll just sleep in here.
This is a wildfire through an artist's lens.
I'm like always living with this sort of endless clicking sound.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, Jeff has constructed a library on California wildfire.
Fires are complicated. It's not just climate change. It's forest management and all these other forces. When I started doing this, I was sleeping in the back. That's my meditation alarm.
What is your meditation alarm?
So I started doing transcendental meditation as a way to deal with the PTSD effects of me experiencing all this, the intensity of fires. We're listening to David Lynch, his weird blues underwater. It's also very surreal music.
Whiskeytown Lake, once a popular national park with thick forests and crisp air. Today, the popular boating destination is almost as surreal as Jeff's music. The charred land is now just a postcard for his project.
What we're looking at is this way in which how the fires have affected very real people on this boat, and it's made this area that, was pristine and beautiful, this lake, is now this sort of crazy burned out shell. The idea with shooting these fires, especially with time lapse, was to show an effect of climate change that's happening right now, rather than, trying to convince people that might not be reachable. Instead, this is what's happening in the world, and you can kind of process it in whatever way you want.
Lake Redding Estates. Just a few days after people were finally let back into their homes, cleanup is underway.
Looters come in so fast, and they'll pick stuff up like that.
Today, the aftermath shows a different side of the fire. Artifacts of a community, a home, or possessions take on new forms. 3 years ago, Jeff started collecting some of these burnt artifacts for his art exhibit.
Well, I might have something you'd be interested in. You come look at my truck here.
All right, let's take a look. Oh, wow.
That was a $400 U2 22-inch wheel.
Yep, that's the stuff right there. That's the kind of thing I'm after.
Jeff's images tell one side of the fire, but tangible objects hold a story of their own.
Yeah. It's like art, right? So that's why I started picking them up.
I see a man pray. what he's doing.
So like this?
Like when you hold it like this. Look at this.
When you look at fire through an artist's lens, you get another perspective.
I got delivered out of the flames. My wife, my daughter, and my 2 cats. So, you know, all this stuff can go away, but I have what's really important.
Fire is a complex story with many characters involved.
There's climate change and forest management, these different issues, of course. They're all big. They all need to be addressed.
And California's wildfire story, it takes time to tell.
So if you can do a time lapse of a fire and see it happening super fast, I mean, I think that anytime you can show things in a way that people are not used to seeing them, there's always an impact.
Jeff's time is done. He's turning 5 years of time lapse into a full-length film to show wildfire through an artist's lens.
I have the luxury of being able to go home, you know, or just stop when I'm tired. Firefighters, they don't.